I was flipping through channels and landed on an episode of a show called Bluey. I decided to watch it and realized the episode had a deeper meaning, so I decided to watch more and realized that many episodes teach valuable life lessons, and turns out this show is becoming immensely popular. Today I want to start a series revolving around this show. The reason why I started this series is because of my history of working with kids in a therapeutic setting, and that has inspired me to start this series. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much helps me out. And let's discuss why Bluey is so popular. Bluey at its worst, if you can even call it that, is a show that teaches kids and adults the importance of properly interacting and playing with your kids and valuable life lessons.
I'm not taking advice from a cartoon dog.
It's a show that resonates with the populace with powerful themes that make people cry just about every other episode. I mean, just look at the subreddit and type cry. You'll see hundreds of posts about different episodes making them cry. So what is this magical formula that they're using to make a show marketed towards preschoolers resonate with all age demographics? I'll try my best to break this down, but if anybody could truly break this down, there would be a lot more shows like this, but this show is really one of a kind. The best place to start is going based off of the studio's words themselves. They had a Q&A where they asked if the show is secretly made for adults, and they had this answer.
Yes!
It's very heavily influenced that the show is as much for adults as it is for children. If you choose to watch an episode, you'll notice that the show doesn't ever choose the dumbed down topics or heavy themes, even going as far as addressing death.
I'm sorry. It's bad news, I'm afraid. The little budgie died.
Infertility,
because it's not meant to be,
and hinting towards a miscarriage. This is a small piece of the puzzle, but this is one of the most important things and notes in the show's favor. Because of this, it's common to see people mention how much they enjoy watching the show with their littlies, or even downright admit that they cried while watching the show. A large part of the show is following the antics of the Healer family and the different games they play. The mom and dad are rarely shown breaking characters during these games, being 100% immersed in their role and going 11 out of 10 to make the games as immersive as possible for their children. Heck, even the intro shows the family playing a game called Musical Statues. The fun part about the family's dynamic, and frankly all the characters in the show, is that they're all written as realistically as possible. In one of the interviews with the director, he mentions how in media it's a common trope to see a child character break something like a vase and then attempt to fix it, and before the parents see it, and in the director's word, he says, that just wouldn't happen in real life. Just right there, from the director's words himself, we can see that it's the studio's mission to deliver an experience that is as realistic and relatable as possible. You might just see an episode that reminds you of something that you did as a kid, or even a different situation that you experienced while trying to teach your kid a valuable life lesson.
I don't want a valuable life lesson.
This makes it very easy for people of all ages to connect to the show, whether they are a parent or not. Also, allow me to add, everyone loves an Australian accent, so it really tickles the ears when you listen to them talk and use Australian terms throughout the episodes.
I'm gonna cook brekkie, kids.
Another awesome detail in Bluey is that it's heavily Australian related. The show uses real-life locations from Brisbane, Australia, from New Queensland, and even uses references to real-life people, like the Bilby puppet is actually based off of a real person's puppet that works in a preschool. Brisbane, Australia is actually where the Healer family lives, and you can even go onto Instagram and look up an account called Real Life Bluey Locations, and there is side-by-side comparisons of real-life locations to screenshots of the show, which are just extremely accurate. So everything you see in the show, for the most part, is based off of real-life locations in Brisbane, which is just a ton of fun. On the surface, the Healer family appears to be the typical nuclear family, but what is amazing is that the writers aren't afraid to make each character have flaws. Allow me to say, having a flaw is not inherently bad, but it allows the characters in the show to be grounded in reality and allows the audience to relate to the characters on screen. If we are strictly talking about the main cast of Bluey, Bingo, Chili, and Bandit, you can boil each character's main flaw to Bluey being the big sister, age 6, still learning a lot about the world, so mistakes are made, and sometimes acting like the boss to her little sister Bingo. but in a way that isn't overbearing at all. If anyone has had a big sibling or was a big sibling, you can kind of understand where I'm going with this. But at the end of the day, she really does care deeply about the people around her. As I continue to boil down the characters of the Healer family, try to notice why all these characters are so relatable. A lot of these situations are things many people go through, and because of that, it allows people to easily resonate with the characters, thus making people want to continue to watch. But let's move on to Bingo, which is the youngest of age 4. Because of her age, she has less emotional intelligence and can be seen struggling finding her voice or even being emotional like many kids around that age. Chili and Bandit, being the parents, are seen often juggling chores while still making sure to play with their kids and giving their kids lessons about life in their own unique way.
Well, actually, it's helpful.
Normally Bandit often being more chaotic, and Chili being more nurturing and slowing down the pace of her voice when trying to get something across.
Please insert your coin.
But both are able to level down and look on a deeper level to figure out why their kids have these problems during these episodes.
I think you're still hungry.
The Bluey studio writes the mom and dad so good, in fact, that the show is commonly referenced to influence people to become better parents, just like the Healer family, and even encourages people to become parents because of how excellent the mom and dad are at being parents. What's amazing is that the dad, Bandit, even got a Best Dad reward that is normally given to real life people because of how good the writers did making his character. However, they are not without flaw either.
What?
If we look specifically at Chili, we can see in one episode her struggle with her being sad about her dad growing old and, in her own words, still needing him.
I'm his daughter. He should take care of himself for me because I still need him.
Which I'm sure we can all relate to an extent, as well as another episode of her overcoming her perspective of having to be the perfect parent for her first child, Bluey. And if we look specifically at Bandit, we can see on one episode he doesn't quite have the ideal childhood.
Get over here.
And on a couple different episodes, his competitive nature overruns the situation, and it usually gets him a little bit carried away.
Nope.
And allow me to quickly say a few relatable things about some of the characters on the sideline, like Jack's suggested neurodevelopmental problems of either ADHD or autism. I'm not here to debate on that.
Wrong with your old school? No, there's something going on with me.
But we also have Mackenzie's separation anxiety or parental abandonment issues,
Mom,
Rusty's dad not being home due to him being in the army,
is he on patrol like us? Yeah.
Winton's parents being divorced,
I know he doesn't live with my mom.
all very in-depth in different ways to represent different crowds of people, but all presented in realistic ways, which allows the audience to resonate with the different characters. I hope you're catching on to a theme. It's all about being relatable. A big thing about the show is that they're trying to showcase a relatable and real family. They're not trying to sugarcoat everything, which is awesome. So far we have 1, the studio refusing to dumb down topics and even showcase harder themes in children programming, and 2, realistic and relatable reflections of real life. And there's just about 100 different things that make this show worthwhile, but I think a third key reason is really just the animation and style. The show delivers a smooth animation that is extremely fluent and that has unique character design that is easily distinguishable, thus separating it from the rest of the crowd. The characters' design are easy for kids to draw, since at its base, the family are really just rounded rectangles with triangles on their heads, encouraging youth as well as many talented artists to make amazing art, spreading the show legacy out from the ether. The show also has an amazing choice of colors of pastels that is easy on the eye while still being simple, unique, and beautiful. And if you were to pause just about any moment in the show and look at the characters and the background, you can see the labor and love they put into everything on screen. I highly recommend you watch the video of the animation and art team explaining how they animate/design and how you can really see the passion and feel the passion flowing off their screens as they work. The link will of course be on the top right of there. The animation team even goes above and beyond and changes the art style, sometimes to fit the episode's story, and it's always done in really clever ways. And don't even get me started on the album. The album of the show is so popular it got its very own vinyl after people asking for it. The show's music is done by the artist, I believe his name is Joff, and he is an amazing creator of music. Without his music, some of the episodes wouldn't feel as impactful as they are, such as Sleepy Time, which is considered one of the most emotional episodes in the entire series. These are just a few of the things that make this show amazing. An Australian cartoon to become famous enough to be shown in Macy's Day Parade goes to show you how rapidly the show is growing, at least for the American crowd, let alone its popularity in multiple different countries. The last time I saw an Australian-based programming getting this popular was The Wiggles, so maybe they've known the magic formula for a while now. The show's popularity also caught the eye of Disney, thus Ludo Studio and Disney struck up a deal allowing Disney to stream the show on Disney+. This agreement, in my opinion, was not the defining factor in the show gaining popularity, but it most certainly helped spread it across the globe, considering their ability to provide Ludo Studio with multiple different translation services to help the show be enjoyed no matter which language you speak. At least, I'm not aware of the show being translated to different languages before Disney, but maybe someone can inform me in the comments. However, despite all of this, the show's popularity is nothing without its fans, and I believe the fans are what makes the show shine above the others. No matter where you go, there's always someone praising the show for something. Whether it's a parent thanking the show for teaching them how to be gentle parents, or giving them a way to connect with their child and reenact the games that they see in the show, or if it's from a person that's just being grateful from the show healing their inner child, or even someone stating that they learned a valuable life lesson that their parents failed to teach them, and many more reasons. If I sat here and listed every way that fans have stated the show has helped them, I could be here for hours. Every member in the fan base has nothing but high praise when talking about this show, and perhaps we can go a bit more in depth on certain demographics on a different video, but I recently had the pleasure of talking to a couple of the community members, and they're all very pleasant and super nice. The fans of the show are honestly incredible, and it really is what makes this show super special. That's why everyone loves
Bluey!
And as always, this video could not be possible without the members who support me. These members supporting me will eventually allow me to become full-time, and these members are Cameron, Rick Iglesias, and Clairvoyance. If you'd like to become a member and help me become full-time, as always, don't forget to click the link on the top right or in the description to become a member. You can become a member as little as $5 a month, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.